Right. Thank you again, and hope you guys like that. Yo, of course it is a reggae, Paul. So cool. Joy, over to you, and looking forward to a great session, interactive session. If you don't understand, please either drop a message on the chat or raise your hands, and then we'll give you a chance to ask your questions. My team will be adding the Microsoft Learn link on how to sign up, as well as we will share with you the redemption code as well. And I believe we have our first Chinese participant, Mr. Go, who just uh, joined the training. Mr. Ziyuan Guao. Is that how you pronounce Mr. Gao? Ziyang Gao, who just
Yangao, yeah.
joined. Ziyang Ziyuan Gao has just joined in. So thank you everyone. Appreciate it. Would be great if you all can just drop a note as well from where you all are connecting. That'll be good for us to know which diverse countries you all are joining from. And yep, thank you. And over to you, Joy.
Thanks, Safa. So first of all, I hope you guys can hear me, right?
Yes, Joy. We
Okay.
can.
First of all, thanks a lot, Safa, inviting me to deliver this session, and we have been planning for many of these sessions for a very long time, but I think both of us had busy schedule, so we couldn't make it. Finally, we have got a chance. Again, apologies, and this is not my usual voice. So, I think due to the very hot weather in Colombo, Sri Lanka. By the way, I'm based out of Colombo, Sri Lanka. Due to the weather conditions, I'm suffering with a little bit of a throat infection. So bear with me for today. So okay, so let me start the session by
Participants, give us some minutes.
Yeah, I think someone's playing, removing folks. Someone removed me as well. Ooh la la la. Someone's playing. Oh, can we add them as attendees, please? Sorry, guys.
okay. Back.
Yeah, we had someone complain about that before.
Yeah, someone removed you. Is it Joy?
Yeah. I just got a message saying removed from the meeting. So that's fine. That's okay.
Someone removed me as well. I won't know who the Joker is, but all right.
That's it.
Anyway, that's fun. So that's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
It's fine.
So again, it's good. So we have people joining from different continents. So with the internet and the connectivity, we don't feel that we are, in different geographies anymore. So let me first try to set the expectations of this session. So basically, the session today are not going to give you 100% coverage of GitHub Copilot. I mean, I would love to do that, but then that's not going to work depending on people's different skill set and experience. So basically, the objective of today's session is like a teaser, and then you enroll to the course where you talk end to end. You explore end to end capabilities of GitHub Copilot tool. So because of that, I don't have a proper structure. Normally, when it comes to Microsoft Learning courses, we have a proper structure to follow. And today's session, I'm pretty sure maybe the other sessions we attended earlier. I like to navigate the way you guys want, and depending on the questions and feedback received during the session. Um, so by the way, I'm a Microsoft certified trainer for last, I think, almost 19 years now. Yeah, I've been delivering many Microsoft curriculum courses, both physical and remotely, in Sri Lanka and now outside Sri Lanka as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually use some slide first, give a bit of an introduction to the tool, also give a little bit of introduction to the course, and then probably go to the tool and see some couple of demos. And not going to show you everything, then it will not serve the purpose of this session. Let's wind up the session keeping some curiosity, creating a curiosity so that you will enroll for this particular course. So just like the ending part in Inception movie, if you have watched it, one of my favorite movies. That ending part is something you can argue, discuss, think for days and weeks and months. I see there are still debates going on about that. So I like to end the session with a similar mindset. So creating opportunity for both provider and the students, so you can plan your next education exercise with Safa and team. So let me quickly share my screen. Um, uh, Share, right. One second. Okay, give me a second. Okay, for some reason, it's not allowing me to share the entire screen. Mm.
Mr. Joy, do you have some issues?
Yeah, I'm actually trying to share my screen, but I think maybe due to latest. Uh, 1 second, I think I need to. I have added Chrome, not allowing me to share the entire screen. I recently updated the Mac OS. Let me.
No worries. So while Joy sorts that out, Shahana, could you check on all these participants and share the skill spot access, please? For those who joined in late, I'm going to quickly show you all. All of you are going to get access to this learning platform, which will be freely available until June or latest July. We're trying to extend it by one more month because this is provided for us by Microsoft, where all the previous sessions will be uploaded. We are going to be uploading this week's sessions as well over here. I think it's on process. So, Shana, could you add all these participants into the uh, what do you call the skill spot so that we can provide them the link and they can sign up for it? All the previous ones have been added to skill spot. Is it, Shana? Shana, you're on mute. So anyway, we are going to send it to you in the next hour or so to all of you, so you will have access to this. And completing these 3 sessions. Sorry.
Let's talk later. I'm really emotional and I don't want to cry.
Okay, I'm gonna mute Elizabeth. Hi, Elizabeth. So, okay, there you go. So these 3 sessions, if you complete these 3 sessions and do the assessments as well, you will be provided with a Microsoft exam voucher. Joy, all good? I think he's logging in again. Sorry about that. All right, Joy's here.
Yes, let me see now. Share. Mhm, mm. Okay, something to do with my. Okay, let me do this.
Yeah, Joy, all okay?
Yeah, I think I'm not getting the window to share. I'm on multiple monitors. Let me figure something out. So I'm actually trying to join from Chrome. Just allow me. Not sure
Yeah.
whether it's something to do with the.
Do you have the desktop Teams?
Yeah, no, I don't have the desktop team.
Oh,
Yeah. So normally we join from the browser. Let me try this. Actually, now I'm trying to join from Chrome. See whether
okay.
you can allow me, and then I'll try to.
Yes, I allowed you.
Okay, and then. Oh, cool. Okay. Thanks, guys.
Okay.
And
So
I'm hearing an echo.
exactly because both there's two
Yes.
Joys. So which one
Yeah.
can I mute, or which
I
one will
know.
you?
One second. I'll put the other one.
Okay, cool. All right, there you go. No worries. This is the new norm, right? Technology. Yeah.
Exactly. So one good lesson I learned today. So don't go directly to a demo. If you update your Mac OS, test it beforehand, right? Okay. So are you guys able to share see my screen?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, yes. We
All
can
right. So I'm
hear
going to mix some contents coming from different decks. Let me. Okay. So basically, this is something we use for GitHub Dev Days. Have you guys participated to any of GitHub Dev Days organized by various communities? And it is a
Yes.
program.
Tomorrow
Uh,
I'm going for the UAE one. Day after, on
okay.
Saturday, we are going for the UAE one. Yeah.
Okay. I think that's something you guys should participate if it is happening in your town. So we did our one, I think, last month.
Okay.
We had a great set of sessions, and I actually did the introductory session, so I'm using those slides. Before we touch the tool, I'm pretty sure you have already used GitHub Copilot, at least to create a Hello World project. That's I think a normal these days. So before we go into any real demos, I'll quickly go through some of the important materials, right? And I know you have bunch of questions right now. You hear about Copilot today, and then you also hear a few other vibe coding platforms. Even I sometimes get confused which one to use, and it all depend on the use case, depending on the application you are going to develop. So if you look at the evolution of GitHub Copilot, uh, no doubt it's started as a code completion tool, right? And this was there from, I don't know how many of you are old like me and Zava. We come from, the time we had VB6 and .NET 1. and C++ with MFC, COM and DCOM kind of, C early days of C Sharp, and we loved Visual Studio's autocomplete capability. If you remember right, we we write the first couple of letters and then press the space bar, and then you get a drop down, right, with a list of next suggestions, right, next word for other completion. So that's how even GitHub Copilot started. It basically started as a pair programmer. Um, why the Copilot name was given? There are some aircrafts you cannot take off and land with a single pilot. You need an assistant, right? There are certain, a set of aircraft model, large aircraft, cargo carriers. You need your assistant to take off and to land, right? So same concept. So basically, it's good if you have someone knowledgeable around you to help you on what to do next, right? So that is how this started. We call GitHub as a pair programmer. It basically gave the code completion capabilities up until 2023. And then with the AI hype, when we talked about large language models, small language models. So small language models are the opposite of large language model. So large language models have all the garbage in it, whereas small language model are very specific to that particular customer or domain or industry, are trained purely for that particular industry. For example, there are language models targeted for healthcare. They are trained with the healthcare terminology, things like that. And then also we got this concept called agentic AI. So you all know ChatGPT. I'm pretty sure you have used ChatGPT extensively, right? And what ChatGPT does is a chat bot, right? It's basically a platform. If you look at the ChatGPT, if you remember the ChatGPT interface, you enter a question and then you send it, and in few seconds it will give you a response. So basically, it's a conversational bot. It's a conversational app, and it cannot act on the response. For example, I'll take a simple example. I would say, okay, I'm going to develop a new website for my new business, and these are the kind of features I want. Can you check some of the websites relevant to this particular industry and give me some recommendations, right? So this OpenAI, ChatGPT, and Anthropic and whatnot, all these tools are Perplexity is one of the best tools for these kind of things. They can go and scrap the entire internet and create a nice plan for you and say, ideally, you should have a headline like this, tagline like this, and the web page can be structured like this. It will give you all the required responses, but it stops there, right? It just give you the instructions, give you the information, and then it stops, right? But it could not act on behalf of me. And let's say I got a nice plan from the first cut itself, from the first go itself. I wanted to say, hey, wow, this is a great plan. This is going to be a great website for me. I really love this. I really love your idea. Why don't you go and create it for me? So ChatGPT could not do that. ChatGPT still cannot do that because it's not meant for that purpose, right? So that's where this agentic AI came into the picture, where you bring agents. Agents are again nothing but piece of code integrated with your AI ecosystem. Once you get the plan from planning or researching models available in ChatGPT, OpenAI, or Anthropic, you can input that plan to an agent, and let the agent create the entire website for you, right? So I'll try to show you one example if time permits. Uh, so that's basically where we are today. So we are in wave two. So what we are going to see as the next step is basically in the wave three. Because right now it's all individual, right? So you need a subscription. You integrate your VS Code or IntelliJ AI or whatever the ID is with that subscription, a Copilot subscription, and you're on your own, right? But as the next step, we will be getting a teams and the agents concepts within the GitHub Copilot. I think this is expected in Q2 or early Q3 this year. So this will address larger engineering teams, and this will bring a lot of valuable capabilities into the ecosystem. So this is how actually GitHub Copilot started. It started as a pair programmer, as a helper, right, as an assistant, and then it went beyond that, and also capable of talking to agents and getting things done on behalf of you. And then this is what we are coming, and this part still not sure what kind of capabilities we will get. But of course, we will have some cool features coming in the wave three. So again, you can use GitHub Copilot in any of the IDEs. If you see, you have JetBrains, Eclipse, and then Visual Studio Code, Xcode. So all those IDEs are supported. And one of the new thing is the GitHub Copilot CLI. It's a command line interface tool with some powerful commands embedded. Um, and yeah, so there'll be more and more integrations coming in. All what you need is a single subscription to the GitHub. Some of the capabilities may not work with the free version of GitHub Copilot. So you might have to go to the next one in order to enjoy these capabilities. So again, one of the very common misunderstanding we had in the industry, even one of my students talk I mean asked the same question. So we were under impression, at least majority of the engineers under impression, when you buy a GitHub Copilot license, you can work only with the Microsoft and OpenAI models, right? Which is not the case. So basically we can now leverage Anthropic models like Claude, Haiku, Sonnet, Opus, and all the OpenAI models like GPT-5, Codex, and also we have Google Gemini in it. And also you can bring your own models as well, right? So it's going to be, how do I say? It's like a traffic light, right? It's like, a motor traffic control center. You send the request, and based on the request, you can decide whether to turn left or right or go straight, depending on your requirements. So this multi-model capability is something we talk about these days, and it's a nice thing being added to the GitHub Copilot. So this is a very basic example, animated GIF, how your pair programmer works. So you can get the inline chat and then give a requirement, or basically you can highlight the set of commands, and then you use the inline chat mode, and you can ask him to please beautify this or improve it for performance, or improve it for better readability. So there are different aspects, right? So all that can be done with this capability. And if you see this animated GIF again, so you have the GitHub Copilot chat option in the right-hand corner, and you give again, this is how you integrate your VS Code with the GitHub source control itself, right? So you can actually take this to the next level. So that's where that agent plus SPLC in the wave 2, which we are today, you can actually perform certain activities like pulling the available tasks from GitHub and making sure you provide a valid comment when you are committing it. So those kind of uh, application development lifecycle management capabilities also going to be available. More and more features going to be available with GitHub Copilot. So I will show you some of these things. And this is again, let me, I have to, okay, skip this video now. Okay, right. Okay, so when you look at Visual Studio Code and the GitHub Copilot together, so you know that there are different uh, capabilities in this suite, starting from actually reviewing the requirement, review, manage, delegate, deploy, orchestrate, and then building and testing, customizing, and optimizing it further. So this is going to be a never-ending thing, as all of you know, when it comes to engineering. So what do we get to cater this? We have features like agent mode. Agent mode is the one I told you. You let the Copilot to do the coding for you as well. You're not going to write code. And then planning is basically, this is something I have seen no one use, but you normally start with the plan, right? So I give my requirement in natural language, plain English. I first ask him to come up with a plan, right? So that will save a lot of time, because if the plan is not accurate, you need to keep on refining the plan until you get your idea, to a situation it match with your idea, with your requirement. Then you can get the agent to start working on the plan and go and execute, right? And if you look at tools, we can integrate with custom agents and MCP servers, right? There are so many things. Um, and again, there are some additional capabilities when it comes to Visual Studio, not the VS Code. So this is a commercial version. If you are coming from an enterprise where you have Visual Studio Enterprise license, then probably you'll have more capabilities. And this exactly what I told you earlier, it works very well with VS Code, JetBrains, Eclipse, and Export. Um, and let me quickly skip these things. Yeah, so this basically how command line works. So this is pretty cool. I think this is going to be a big change in the coming weeks or months. They keep on adding capabilities to the CLI. Okay, so let's move on. So this is again, as I explained earlier, so you can get your software development lifecycle process integrated with the GitHub, right? So you can assign Copilot to do some work in the background, right? While you are focusing on your work on, writing code for some other feature, right? So you have bunch of features to work today, bunch of user stories to implement. So you can continue to do that and let the GitHub Copilot to do some other tasks behind the scene, right? So it's really improved the productivity of engineers. And this also an important thing where you have the mobile friendly experience coming in. So you can definitely get the GitHub mobile app, and through that you can do things like creating issues, assigning issues, review your pull requests. So all those standard GitHub actions, GitHub processes or workflows are available in the mobile app, mobile interface as well. Um, uh, as you can see, you can provide your requirement, and then send it as a request, so it'll make the API call and get the work done for you. Uh, uh, Again, so this is also again self-explanatory, so you can use your GitHub Copilot subscription everywhere. GitHub.com, VS Code, Visual Studio, Open Code, whatnot, right? So it's just one subscription. You can use in many places. So basically, GitHub Copilot help you with, I mean, almost everything, starting with coding, right, and research and testing. So I mean, if I am the one who is drawing this slide, so by the way, these slides we receive from the GitHub Copilot team. We didn't do anything, to be very honest. So if I do this slide, I take research first, right, before coding, because this plan exercise or plan feature in the GitHub Copilot is really interesting one. So you do the right research, and then you start coding, and you ask Copilot to generate tests, and we do the testing. And this is interesting. I'm pretty sure if you're coming from development background, this is something we really hate, right? Documentation, right? So this is something always goes to the back seat. Oh, okay, so tomorrow is release, so let's worry about the release. Let me fix the bugs. I can take care of the documentation later. Who cares the documentation if the application works, right? So that's the mindset. So we can definitely now get GitHub Copilot support to get the documentation. So this can work in two ways. You provide a small comment and then generate the code using that command, or you have a bunch of code and generate an explanation, generate some comments or text by analyzing existing code. So it can go either way, right? Maybe if you're taking over some work from one of the engineers who left already, maybe about 2 weeks ago, so you have hundreds of files in the project. You don't know where to get started, right? You don't know which one is depend on which one, right? So then this documentation part and also the refactoring capability will help you to get a clear understanding picture on the code base. And bug fixing, this is something I really like to share one of my experience. So, and by the way, I work for a company called WSO2. I'm pretty sure you have heard about WSO2. So we develop middleware solutions. We have an API gateway, and we have an integration platform, and we have an IDT platform, and we also have a new language called Ballerina. If you are interested, if you are a person who try to explore more and more programming languages, I will put the link to the website. There is a language called Ballerina. That language is not a general purpose programming language. It's not meant to develop interfaces. So, UI or mobile apps, so, things like that. That language specially designed for writing integrations, right? So it's about integrating. If you want to integrate a SaaS application, a database, a message queue, whatnot, right? So if you want to develop, if you are coming from an integration background, Ballerina is a language. It could be one of the many choices, right? So then I actually got to do a demo to one of our prospect, and the requirement was, okay, we want to see how your Ballerina language and how your integration product can talk to my Salesforce ERP, right? I took a big and long breath, because two challenges in front of me. One, I don't know Ballerina, right? I didn't do Ballerina coding before. And two, I don't know SAP either, right? I don't know SAP, right? I don't understand any of these two, right? But I wanted to at least put together a small kind of a demo, so that we can win the prospect trust, and later on we can bring all the big guns from the team, and then provide whatever necessary, right? So it's like getting their attention at least. So what I did, I used Copilot and I asked Copilot to do this for me. And I ended up with many errors initially. And normally, errors, I mean, if you are a Java programmer, by looking at the error, you know where the problem is. And I'm coming from Microsoft background. If I look at the error I'm seeing, I know if it is C sharp, I know what could be the reason, right? So, but Ballerina, I haven't used, right? Now what I'm going to do. So what I did, I simply fed the error messages to the Copilot and saying, can you analyze this error, right? This bunch of errors and guide me on how to fix them. So without learning Ballerina and without getting anyone's help, I was able to put together that demo. So I was able to write a small application, go and talk to the sales order entity in SAP and bring all the existing sales orders into the client, right? So that's an interesting thing, right? So don't stop when you get a bug. Keep feeding the bug into the Copilot and it will do the job for you, right? So refactoring, planning, architecture, design, and deployment. So one of the recent experiences I had, so I was doing a small website for one of my friend, um, free, completely free, as a hobby. I just wanted to do something over the weekend. So I created a small web page and I wanted to host that on GitHub Pages, right? So, GitHub Pages helps you and it allows you to host static website, right? Which means if you have a domain name under your name, let's say you have a domain called www.zava.com, right? So you purchase the domain name. Now you need to design a new, I mean, fancy looking website, maybe like with bunch of pages and images. And earlier we had to think about a hosting account, right? So we had to buy hosting. But now you can use GitHub Pages to run your website, right? So that is pretty easy. So I actually got a few challenges. I faced few challenges initially deploying my website to the GitHub. Then I asked GitHub to give me the solution, find a solution for me. I'm getting this error. So in fact, he suggested me your approach is the traditional approach because I configured to get the output from the source main branch. But he suggested, no, you should maintain a different branch and configure a GitHub action workflow so that every time when you commit with a change, that workflow action will run and it get automatically published to the public folder, right? It was a React app. So that's another important thing, right? So you can get some I mean great help in terms of the deploying as well. So I'm going to skip all of this. So this is what kind of a summary I talked about. Onboarding, we have CI/CD support, code reviews, security, unit testing, and all these engineering disciplines, engineering practices are put into GitHub Copilot as workflows, right? Yeah, so that's what actually I wanted to cover in that demo, sorry, in that presentation. So now what I'm going to do is actually I'm going to quickly create a small let's say application using VS Code, and then we'll try to uh, leverage all the uh, GitHub. Okay, let me take this window here. Okay, go to my repositories. So by the way, this one of the older pictures. I don't look like this anymore. I think I have to update this. So what I did actually, I created a repository, right? I just created a repository, but it has nothing, right?
So it has basically a README file, right, with one line. That's it. So what I did, I actually um, went to settings for this repository, and then there is option called pages, right? So this is how you can host your website within GitHub without paying for additional hosting, right? But again, I have to be very honest. There are limitation in terms of using GitHub pages. You may not be able to run some backend coding like Node.js or things like that. But at least for static websites, you can definitely rely on GitHub pages without spending money on the on a hosting account. So I have these pages. So what I did, so this is the mistake I did, as I explained earlier. I selected main and root, right? And this is how it was. This configuration. This is exactly what I had initially when I was developing that site, and when I was trying to publish it. So now let me. So what I want to do is basically, it's very simple. I want to put some pages here under this GitHub pages and try and access them, right? So let me quickly create a, a folder. Right, let's say, okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to yeah, there is a folder called AI show. I just created this, right? I don't have anything over here. It's empty. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to this repository and clone it, right? So there's nothing, of course, right? You can say git clone, right? And then it creates a repository, right? You can see here, right? I only have the MD file and all these things, right? Now what I want to do is I want to actually open this in VS Code and try to leverage the capabilities in the Copilot studio, right? So let me go to, okay, let me see, there's a subdirectory, you can say code and dot, and it will open the VS Code for me. It came in my other window, so I'll take it here so you can see clearly. Okay, and this is the file explorer. There's nothing much. This MIT license file which got generated and the README file. That's it, right? So now what I want to do is I'm going to say oh yeah. So let's not up. Why not? Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say let's say npm create okay, need to install the following packages. Let's say yes. Okay. Project name, and then it will ask me, okay, I'll say React. I prefer Java's, I prefer maybe TypeScript. Okay. And yes, so it basically create a project using React, using Vite bundler, and now it's installing all the dependencies. So while that's, it shouldn't take a long time. Okay, so basically it has created the the website, right? The sample site. It's just a React site, React single page website, nothing much, right? So now what I'm going to do is, so I have the infrastructure foundation ready. So if you are following me in the bottom right hand corner, so this I'll try to take it up a bit, right? So over here, right, if you're following my mouse, so there is some options here, right? It says use create agent to scaffold a custom agent for your workflow. We don't want to go there, not yet. And if you look at this drop down over here, so we have three mode: agent, ask, plan. So ask is very simple to using ChatGPT interface. You know GPT interface, right? It has simply a text box and a button. That's it. And maybe a thing to select the model, right? So that's a very, yeah, I mean, it's like Google search engine homepage, right? So when you enter your prompt and when you say send, then that prompts get to the large language model behind the scene, and obviously it will go through a lot of other layers, and then you will receive the response in the ChatGPT interface. So that's just a chat interface only, right? So ask is something like that, where you can ask some questions. You can say how your day to day, right? How you can ask, okay, can you tell me which language is the best to do backend programming? So you can ask questions. It will give you responses. Other than giving responses, it will not do anything for you, right? And the plan option is basically really interesting. So I selected the plan. And also next to this, you will see we have a bunch of models, right? So Claude, GPT-5.4. So I prefer Claude. And you can definitely here go through all the models available, and some of them are being deprecated. And there's some preview versions of newer models also available, right? So let me go for this. So I can say I am starting a new business for let's say buying and selling let's say sport items. I have no idea uh, about web designing. Can you suggest uh, suggest uh, a, a modern layout for my single page website? So I have said I am looking for a single page website, right? Of course, I don't want to start the complex one. So now what I'm doing right now is uh, I'm asking the tool to a plan, right? So provide a kind of a suggestion, right? So as you can see here, I don't know whether you saw it for a few seconds. You saw it was talking to a few MCP servers, um, and uh, and then now it will basically uh, so it's in the process of planning. I'm pretty sure you have, even though you have used Copilot, I'm pretty sure at least a majority will not follow this exercise. They will simply go to either agent mode or ask mode without planning, right? Uh, so okay, um, explore the way. Check that. Okay, it's still working. Okay. Uh, yeah. Okay, now, so it's very detailed. Key sections for sports buying, selling, single page website. Okay, it's going too fast. Navigation bar, hero section. Oh man. Doesn't give me time to read those. So navigation bar, hero section, sport categories, blah 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 blah. So I think he's coming up with a very professional website layout. Uh, let's go through it. So basically, I mean, we don't worry about the website content. I just wanted to show you how helpful the Copilot pair programmer. It can even guide you in terms of coming up with the design, right? So it says phase one, core structure, phase two, content and trust, phase three, social proof and conversion, and things like that. Okay, so sounds good. Yeah, because I don't know much about web designing, so I can't complain also. Uh, Now what I can do, I can select the agent. I can say I am happy with uh, the above website structure. Can you create all the required artifacts and uh, give me a production ready website, right? Let's see, right? And again, AI is not how do I say it, right? So it may not work 100% similar, even if I write this prompt, even if the same person provides the prompt 100 times, so the response can be varying. So you need to carefully review. So that is why we always say when the co-pilots and pair programmers and large language models, vibe coding, all these things, all these calamity happens. Even though those things happens, we still need a human, like a solution architect or a software architect, to at least validate the output we are getting, right, from this co-pilot. Because I have seen few scenarios, um, we don't get the output we expect. Sometimes you get an over-engineered one. Sometimes you get a completely wrong output. So you got to be a bit careful. Not only Copilot, for any Copilot for that matter, right? Okay, so let it go. So now until it does its job, I also wanted to talk a little bit about this course, right? So that's the whole purpose. So we want you to enroll. I mean, if you are happy with this Copilot tool, I of course I'm really happy, and I use day in day out. And if you think you need to learn how to leverage this tool fully, because there could be many features that even I don't know in the Copilot. I don't think even I can master all of them. So that's where we need some instructor-led training to come in, right? So Microsoft has this course called AZ-2007. And so if you look at it helps students to prepare for the new credentials or day-to-day job tasks, so both certification and to make your life easy. Two objectives, right? And yeah, so this is the objective. The prerequisite is of course any language experience, right? It doesn't have to be C sharp. It can be something else, but a bit of a programming experience will come really handy. And it's a one-day course. Not going to take you like not going to eat your entire weekend. If you guys are working, then you can probably plan for one weekend, right? And it doesn't affect your normal schedule. It's just a single 1 day course, and then so this again after this, I believe Zafar already mentioned, you can sit for the exam, and Zafar and the team they are to help you in terms of getting the right credentials and the badges and things like that, right? Um, so if you want to before you enroll, by the way, this information available in your website. But in case if you want to know what we will be covering this full day training program workshop. So how to get started with GitHub Copilot, generating documentation, using tools, and how to develop new code, generate new code, and develop unit testing using GitHub Copilot, and how you can do the code improvements using the GitHub Copilot tool. Because if you think, oh, I know GitHub Copilot, it's just a text box. You tell what it has to do, and it will do it for me. So that probably the tip of the iceberg, right? Yes, it works like that. Anybody can give a nice prompt, and there are now websites which will help you with the prompts also, right? You can tell your requirement in plain English. Is so funny. They will tell you use this prompt, right? So there are people, there are websites helping with the prompt, right? So if you think, okay, if I have a right prompt and I just give the prompt and it will do the job for me, uh, there are a lot more to learn here. So that is why we encourage you to enroll to this course, where you learn end-to-end capabilities, hidden features, and some tips and tricks available in the tool, right? So it's a 1 day course, I believe, is manageable for most of you, and then you will be able to quickly get on with your work, right? So day-to-day work using the knowledge you gain. So you see, it's still going on, obviously, understandable, right? Because I have asked him to do a lot. So
Can you hear me?
it will.
Yeah. Can we, is there any question?
Yeah, sorry, I forgot to ask. Are there any questions? Anyone want to jump in? Anyone want to share their experience at least?
Yes, yes, please.
Yeah.
Hmm? Did anyone learn anything? Can we have a raise of hands or something? Or can I or should I be asking? How about hi Elizabeth? You were very vocal yesterday.
Hi, Zafar.
Hi,
Um,
hi.
sorry, I'm alternating between this and a meeting from work. So
Okay.
my attention is sort of divided, and that's why I asked for a recording so I could come back to watch it, right? And then try to practice or something.
I love your
So yeah,
commitment.
apologies.
No worries. How about you,
Okay,
Hassan
so
Saudi or anyone? Sorry, Joy.
yeah, I'll quickly show you this. So this is another important thing. So this again uh, uh, a good example that software engineering cannot completely replace human beings, right? So there is a human intervention at most of the cases, right? So now it has done some planning and etc. etc. Now he needs to run some commands, but he will not do it until we give the consent, right? So that's where you need a human interaction. So we can say, yes, I'm okay with this command. Go ahead and run the command. Now it's executing the command, right?
Joy, I have a
Abhishek,
question.
yeah, go ahead, please.
Okay, let's say without GitHub Copilot, if we are to do it in the conventional manner, how difficult is it if we to compare?
If you what you're asking is assuming there is no GitHub Copilot.
Correct.
Okay. Old school
Old
engineering,
school.
right?
Exactly.
Okay. So I mean, if we are thinking about a world without Copilot, I actually can't imagine a world without Copilot now because I'm so
Used to it.
addicted to it. Yes.
Yes.
So if I recollect my memory back in, yeah, maybe let's say 10 to 12 years back, the only I mean, so this is a pair program, a helper, right? Helping program. So at that time we had only the Google and Stack Overflow. Um, and yeah, mainly those two, right? So we learn our theories from universities, we go to our first job, and then we realize what we learn in the university is nowhere close to what the actual
The
industry is required,
industry requires.
right?
Correct.
There is a huge gap in between, right? That's the time we start Googling, right? And then go to Stack Overflow, copy paste the code, and see whether it's working. And I think I mean, we can get the work done, but uh, the time we spend uh, to implement, and more than the implement, when you get an error, right? So when you face and so when you say error, there are two types of errors, right? A syntax errors, a logical errors, right? So syntax errors, of course, we had tools like Visual Studio, IntelliJ, Eclipse. They will give you some hints. This curly brace is missing, this parenthesis is missing. So it was easy to fix. But think about a scenario where you don't have any compiling errors, nothing at all on the prompt, but x plus x to x, the 2x doesn't come, right? X plus x, you get 10x, right? Where did I go wrong? Where did it go wrong, right? So that's a logical error. So logical errors are very hard to isolate, and they are costly because the compilation errors or syntax errors always will be picked up during the development time, and logical errors majority will be picked up during the QA phase, but it's still there are chances the logical errors can be detected after we deploy to customer's data center, and that's the time you get left right, because it's very difficult because we look at the code. I mean, if I were a developer, I am very happy after I give a release. If QA come and say, Joy, your code works well, I couldn't find a single bug. I am the happiest person, right? And if they come up with an error, Joy, there's an issue in your code, you need to fix this. I give a long face to them, right? Because we always tend to test the happy path only. We never test to see where it breaks, right? So that's where we can use tools like GitHub Copilot apart from code generation, because it will help you to generate unit test, and you can run unit test, right? And also you can feed into the Copilot and say, I'm not getting the expected output, right? So it can uh, help you to isolate some of these costly debugging or bug fixing exercises, and it can reduce, because finding a bug during development phase is in terms of the cost, it's less compared to finding the same bug in the production or customer production environment, right? So I think uh, we did a great job even before Copilot comes, but we were fully dependent on our brain and our experience. But right now, even a no-brainer can develop a website, right? No doubt about it. But we still need people like software architects, solution architect, enterprise architects, in order to put the right structure and everything. Because what I have noticed is even though GitHub Copilot can help you to put the project structure as well. Now, if you see in my left-hand side, I have just one, folder called Wait project, all right, which is a name I accepted during the creation process, and it has created some files. All these files, did I create? No, I didn't. I did not create. All of this done by the Copilot, and he's smart enough, and he asked, okay, there are 7 files I generated. Do you want to keep it? Yes, why not? Right? So this structure may not be the right structure, right? So that is where again you need to intervene and tell Copilot you have to bring your solution architecture experience, software architecture experience. Say we would like to maintain a different folder structure. So we have to uh, intervene. So that part is still there. But to answer your question, I mean, I don't want to go back in time and do coding. If someone say I'll give you like a few millions, can you go back and do some XML or early C sharp, early Java, CSS thing and assume no Copilot? I would say no, thank you, right? Because it's so embedded to our life. All right, so I think
I think CC,
the
there's a hands up. CC, you got a question. Thanks,
all right.
thanks, Joy,
Yeah.
for the lengthy answer for my question.
Okay. Joy, I'd like to ask. In your submission, you mentioned that you you go through a planning phase in your GitHub Copilot developments. I wanted to know what are some of the things that go into your planning phase before you begin to use the GitHub Copilot to.
Correct. Yeah.
Uh,
So, but okay, if I understood your answer correctly, before we use the plan feature in Copilot, whether we need to do whether we need to do planning outside the GitHub as well, right? That's what you're asking, I guess, right?
exactly, exactly.
Okay. Yes. Answer is yes. Of course, yes. Right. It's a very good question. So that is why there are some planning. There are some providers has a separate plan option. I know Claude has a research option, and I think Gemini also has a research option. So that if you have enterprise license. Uh, let's say you have enterprise license of Gemini and maybe enterprise one from Claude or something. One know the other. You can give your requirement. Let's take a very practical example. Let's say you have a business analyst, right? So business analyst sit with the customer and then identify the requirement, put them as user stories and some wireframes and things like that, and you have that Word document ready, right? So you can feed
Yeah.
that document into the research capability in Gemini or Claude, and
Okay.
you can put that as an input and say, can you please generate a plan for me, right? And
Yeah.
then they will generate the plan. Let's say you attach that BRD, business requirement document, to Gemini and
Yeah.
go for the research model and say, give me a proper plan for this exercise, right? So it will give you a plan and you can save it as a MD file or whatever docx or something, right? And ideally what you
Okay.
should be doing is you should use that plan and feed it into another provider, LLM provider,
Okay.
and you can verify. So that's what we normally do, right? You generate the plan from one provider and feed that into another provider and ask him to validate and provide the feedback. Because as you already know, these models are trained. One model is better for one area, and the other one is performing best in another area, right? So if you look at
Yeah.
content generation, email writing, research papers and essays, and generating poems and things like that. So to the pure content generation, OpenAI ChatGPT is the best, right? But when
Yeah.
you are dealing with code and solving problems and things like that, I think Claude is one step ahead of the ChatGPT. So
Yeah.
short answer to your question is yes. Before you do planning inside Copilot, do the planning outside the Copilot along
Okay.
with the requirements document.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. And I think we have only about another 10 minutes. So I think I have asked for him to do. So anyway, I think he'll continue. Trust me, you can try this tonight, right after the session. I would love if you want to share your love with Zafar, if you want to encourage him to do more and more sessions like this, right after the session, just go to VS Code, put a very simple prompt like this. I want to create a single page website, blah blah blah. See what they come up with. Do that exercise, create a screen recording and share with us, and we would love to post it in our social media, um, um, and then we are confident that you have learned something. uh, okay, so now it has come to the build phase as well, right? So when we say build, it should definitely create uh, a different folder as well. So you get my point, right? So basically, you have everything generated, right? This is your app.tsx, main.tsx, right? So all this code generated automatically for you. And not only that, this is conversational. After that, you can keep feeding. You can say, oh, I don't like the navigation to come on the top. Can we have it at the bottom? Right. So those kind of modifications you can continue to do until you consume your tokens. So that is the important part, guys, right? Always keep a track of your token usage, because you know nothing comes free nowadays, right? Especially given the global situation, nothing will come free. So make sure you have this bottom right hand GitHub Copilot icon. Time to time, check that and see how your consumption is. So currently, I have utilized 4% of my premium request. And also, you can do some configuration changes, like whether you want to include all the files when you're asking something, or only the current open file. And do you want me to provide the next suggestion? Of course, we love, right? But if you don't like Copilot is giving too many suggestions, then you can turn this off. Yeah, and also when you go to when you go to code settings, so we have bunch of other sessions, a bunch of other areas we can go and configure. Right, so all these are, I just search Copilot in the search bar and go into settings. So you will see there is a section Copilot chat. There are some settings related to Copilot chat, so many settings. Also pull request related things. So you can actually configure how Copilot should behave when it comes to your development experience. So this is something you need to explore. What are these different settings, and how do you do that? So you can say skip. I just want to cancel this, and I can say npm run dev. I just try out. Okay, I'm getting some errors, could not read the package. Okay, I think there's some, I think yes, it's still doing its work, giving some adding some configuration.
Yeah, so basically this is the Copilot that you can use. Uh, how do you associate your Copilot is after you purchase a subscription. In the VS Code, you have this account section, and then using manage extension and account preferences. So here I'll see my GitHub account and also my Microsoft account connected to the Copilot VS Code plugin. And yeah, so you can also manage the premium paid settings through this option. So once again, as you already know, not like human being talking to another human being. We don't really count how many words, and I don't limit my conversation with a friend or neighbor based on the number of words. But AI is not like that. So every single thing you type and send to the LLM counted as a token. So say avoiding thank you, good luck, can you, you don't have to be too much polite to the large language model, because thank you is 2 tokens. How are you doing today? About 4 tokens. And can you please is again like 3 tokens, right? So you have to be mindful about the token usage as well. Okay, so I think we have 4 minutes. We have a question as well. We'll take that question and then we can wrap up if you don't have any other questions. Was there a question? I saw.
Any questions, AY, the others? Everyone all's well?
No questions mean I did a crappy job or I did a great job.
And I think it was pretty, very, I wouldn't say too technical. Even though this is a technical subject, I think it was clear even for me, who's not non-technical,
Yeah,
right?
so exactly. I think the challenge what we are seeing in the industry is like even the fresh graduates, they bet their entire career on tools like this without looking at the bigger picture. So I think experience and at one point you have to become an IT person. You have to put your business users shoes on.
I think that's very
Uh,
much important, right?
yeah,
Because end of the day, there's so much of applications and solutions that have been built, but how impactful is the use of it? Because if there is no business value out of it, then I think it's short-lived, which
exactly.
which is what most of the which is why most of the startups fail as well, right? So Dominion, did you have a question? I don't know. I saw your APT. So anyone else? Is Shahana around?
Yes.
Shahana, have you sent out the skill spot? I mean, have you uploaded the contacts, the attendees?
Yeah, I am uploading the attendees. So once I upload it, I will send the link.
Okay. So no sooner
Yeah.
Shahana uploads all of y'all into SkillSpot, she's gonna send y'all the link, and then y'all will have access to the learning platform, which I showed y'all before. And if y'all are looking at going more deep dive, as Joy mentioned, this is just a 1 hour session, 1.5, because I mean, this is a 8 hour or a 1 full day kind of training, right? So if you all are interested to have a training, do reach out to us. We would be more than glad to see how we could accommodate and facilitate that. I mean, there's so much of trainings today. I will try to show you all, I think, for those. So these are all the trainings that are there today. right? And all these one-day trainings, these are all applied skills. And the 3-day, 4-day, 5-day are more advanced role-based kind of trainings. And very much important, I think now AI 102, there's 103 as well, which is replacing 102. So that's a new course, one of the best courses for you all to have at this juncture. And there's quite a lot of other courses. There are some going out, but then, so based on your job role, it's not that you require everything, but then based on your job role, we could guide you, support you, and facilitate what is required. So thank you very much again for joining this session, and we will keep you all posted with all the upcoming sessions. And if there is something that you all are interested in, or any other training that you all are looking at, or you all would love to have, do put a note on the chat here, and we will try to facilitate that ASAP. So the redemption code that I've actually passed on to you all would have received it. So all you need to do is go to the website, click and paste that. And then if you have already on the Microsoft Learn site, signed up, then it'll just say redeem your code. And what will happen, you redeem it and you go with your profile, you'll see all your badges here. So there'll be multiple badges based on the modules in that particular session. So, yep. Any other question? And if you're looking at more of self-learn, affordable kind of training, we've got our learning platform as well over here. Currently, it focuses on all the Microsoft 365 and Copilot application trainings, which are very bite-sized. As you can see, from Copilot trainings, it has so much, and you can see the different running time. And each of these will provide you a certificate for each module of completion after you complete the assessment. So it's got Office 365 from SharePoint. Oh, Joy used to be a SharePoint guru back in the days. He used to be the only MVP that I used to know. I think I'm talking about 15 years ago or more. Right? So there you go. So any course, some applications you didn't even probably know that it existed in your licenses. So here you go. This is a one-stop place. Very affordable, very cheap. And if you're